Most people don't even realize the exact moment they lose control of their lives. Not in a year, not in 10 years, but every single morning, you open your eyes and before you even get out of bed, you've already given your power away. Your phone, your thoughts, the rush, the anxiety, other people's problems, other people's expectations. The day hasn't even started and you're already being led instead of leading, already reacting instead of deciding. Here's what you need to understand right now. If you don't take control of the first minutes of your morning, you won't take control of anything. Not your money, not your body, not your character, not your future. Because the morning is a mirror. It reveals who you truly are, not who you want to appear to be, not who you call yourself, but who you are when no one is watching. Most people wake up in reaction mode. The alarm goes off, irritation, the mind chaos, the body weak. They allow the world to enter their head first. The news, other people's crises, other people's fears. And by doing that, they sign a contract for a mediocre life. Because if you start your day as a victim of circumstances, that's exactly what you remain. Winners live differently. Not because life is easier for them, but because they choose differently. They understand one simple truth. The way you start your day is the way you live your life. The first minutes after waking up are not just time, they are a statement. Either you declare I'm in control, or you admit I am being controlled. Stand up and ask yourself a hard question. Who is leading my life today, me or the external noise? Because the moment you reach for your phone, you've already told the day, do whatever you want with me. Thanks for watching. The moment you hit snooze, you train weakness. You teach your mind to retreat. And a mind trained for comfort will betray you in every moment of pressure. That's why the first decision of your morning must be hard. Not pleasant, not comfortable, hard. Something that creates resistance inside you. Cold, discomfort, effort. Because when you do the hard thing first, you break the authority of laziness. You prove to yourself who's in charge. And that's when the shift happens. You stop waiting for motivation. You create it through action. Most people wait until they feel like it, and that's why they stay stuck for life. Strong people act when they don't feel like it. And that's exactly why the desire eventually follows. The mind is a muscle. If you train it to surrender every day, it becomes weak. If you train it to obey strength, it becomes your weapon. Your goal in the morning is not to feel inspired. Your goal is to make a declaration, to stand up and state who you are. Because words are not just sounds, they are commands. Most people program themselves for defeat every morning. I'm tired. I didn't sleep enough. Another hard day. And then they wonder why their life keeps matching their language. You must speak differently. Not because it's magic, but because the subconscious doesn't argue, it executes. What you repeat is what you become. In the morning, you must speak the language of strength, calmly, confidently, without drama. Today I lead. Today I move forward. Today I create momentum. And the body follows. Behavior aligns. Reality begins to respond. One more thing, your body is not just a shell, it's a state switch. A weak body creates a weak mind. Slouched shoulders produce doubt. Shallow breathing produces anxiety. That's why movement in the morning isn't about fitness. It's about authority over yourself. Stand up, straighten your posture, breathe deeply, set the tone. Even 10 minutes of movement changes everything. You exit survival mode and enter control mode. Remember this, you don't need perfect conditions. They will never come. Winners start with what they have, because action creates energy, not the other way around. And if you think these are small things, you're wrong. There are no small things here, because these small choices either build a powerful life or a lifetime of excuses. And next, I'll show you exactly what to do with your first thoughts, your first focus, and your first decision so the day starts working for you, not against you. Don't leave. The most important part is coming. There is one reason you feel like the days keep passing, but your life isn't moving. One reason, you don't control your attention. You allow the very first thoughts of the day to pull you toward your weakest points. You wake up and immediately, your head fills with other people's voices, problems you haven't even touched yet, fears that haven't happened, comparisons with those who already made it. And in that moment, you lose the most valuable thing you have, the right to choose who you're going to be today. Most people don't realize that in the morning, their mind is open like a door with no lock. Whatever enters first becomes the owner of the house. And if what enters first is anxiety, urgency, news, someone else's agenda, don't be surprised that by evening you feel drained, angry, and empty. You let chaos in. You sign the agreement for inner disorder yourself. Strong people do the opposite. They understand this. The first minutes are a land grab. Either you occupy your mind or someone else will do it for you. And trust me, the world will not be gentle. It will load you with fear, urgency, and other people's problems. It will assign you the role of a cog in the machine. And if you stay silent, you're agreeing. That's why silence in the morning is not a spiritual practice. It's an act of power. It's the moment you say, right now, the world doesn't speak. I do. Most people are afraid of silence because in silence, you hear the truth. And the truth is uncomfortable. The truth shows you where you're lazy, where you lie to yourself, where you keep postponing your life. That's why people run from silence, into noise, into the feed, into other people's opinions. Anything as long as they don't have to sit with the question, why am I still not where I want to be? But if you can't handle silence, you won't handle growth either. Because growth begins exactly where there is nothing left to distract you. Do you think leaders are born confident? No. They simply meet themselves before they meet the world every single day. They sit in silence while others sleep. They breathe deeper while others rush. They think while others consume. And that's why later on, it looks like they're lucky. The longest brays of Dodd, Bass, and Olo. There's one more thing most people avoid. Paper, a blank page, because paper doesn't lie. In your head, you can fantasize forever. On paper, only the truth remains. And if you don't write, you don't anchor. And what isn't anchored doesn't exist. Ideas become ghosts. Goals become wishes. Intentions become self-deception. You say you want more. Fine. Where is it written? You say you have a plan. Where is it? In your head? Then it doesn't exist. Until you write it down, you haven't decided. You're just dreaming. And the world doesn't pay dreamers. The world pays those who can turn mental chaos into clear direction. 5 minutes of writing in the morning can do more than an entire day of running around. Because writing is an act of leadership over your mind. You slow down, you look inward, you separate what matters from the noise. And suddenly, it becomes clear why you're stuck. Not because you're weak, but because you're unclear. And let's be honest, you already know what you need to do. You're just postponing it because it's scary, because it requires responsibility. Because once it's written, you can't say, I didn't know. Writing strips you of excuses. It forces you to look your life in the eyes. That's why most people avoid it. But if you want to stop being average, you don't have a choice. You must start anchoring things, thoughts, goals, fears, tasks, because what's written begins to govern your actions. Your day starts organizing itself around what you claimed in the morning, not around what was imposed on you. And if you think these are small details, ask yourself this: why don't you have what you want yet? Why do your days all feel the same? Why so much effort and so little result? Because you're living without an internal command, without a clear course, without a morning takeover of control. Next, I'll show you how one simple morning practice can break the inner emptiness, remove the feeling of constant chasing, and give you a sense of power before the day even begins. It will be uncomfortable, and that's exactly why it works. Stay with me. And now you can exhale. Because everything I've talked about isn't about breaking yourself or becoming someone else. It's about finally stopping the war with yourself. You don't need a perfect morning. You don't need to wake up at 5 a.m. You don't need to be made of steel. You need to be honest and consistent. Most people don't quit because they're weak. They quit because they overload themselves. They think that if they're starting a new life, it has to be everything at once. Early wake-ups, workouts, reading, meditation, planning, flawless discipline, and the brain gets scared. It goes into defense mode, it sabotages, and the person ends up back in the same old loop. So drop the extremes. Your task in the morning isn't to change your entire life. Your task is to give it direction. nothing more. Morning isn't a race, it's a calibration. Start simple. You wake up, don't grab your phone, just sit. Take 10 calm breaths. You don't need to think about the meaning of life. Just let your body understand that there's no rush. The world can wait. At that moment, your nervous system already begins to release tension you've been carrying for months. Then ask one question, just one. What truly matters today? Not a list of 10 tasks, not chaos. One focus, one point. Even if the day is hard, even if there's a lot to do, you need one anchor. When you have it, anxiety fades because clarity appears. Take a piece of paper or your notes and write a few lines. Not nicely, not correctly, honestly. What's spinning in your head? What's pressing on you? What's demanding attention? You don't have to solve everything right away, you just need to get it out. The moment thoughts move outside of you, they stop suffocating you. And yes, add gratitude right there. Not because it's trendy or the right thing to do, but as support. Name 3 things you're grateful for right now. Not big things, simple ones. This brings you back to a reality where you're not broken and not too late, where you already have a foundation to move from. Understand this, you're not empty. You're not starting from zero. You're just tired. And morning is the moment when you can regain the feeling of solid ground under your feet without strain, without pressure, without a fight. Next comes movement. Not a workout, not a heroic act, just turning the body on. Stretch, walk, step outside. The body is a button, you press it, your state changes. And when the state changes, your thinking changes with it. You stop being trapped inside your own head. And this is where the real shift happens. The day hasn't even started yet, and you're already out of chaos. You're not jerking around. You're not chasing. You're standing on your own feet. And from this state, decisions are made differently, calmer, sharper, cleaner. That's the real victory of the morning. Not being productive, but being composed. When there's order inside, it starts appearing outside on its own. You rush less. You get irritated less. You waste less energy on nonsense. And if today you do even half of this, that's already a step. Don't devalue it. Life doesn't change through sudden leaps, but through repetition. Tomorrow again, the day after again. And at some point, you'll catch yourself feeling, I'm no longer drifting, I'm moving. Next, I'll show you how to move from this state of calm into a state of strength. How to choose yourself every morning, not on emotion, but at the level of identity. And why this decision is what makes a person steady, confident, and noticeable without saying a word. Stay with me. And now, the most important part. Everything we've talked about means nothing if you don't make one choice. The choice most people postpone for their entire lives. Every morning, before the world has a chance to demand anything from you, you must decide who you will be today. Not what you will do, but who you will become in this day. The problem for most people isn't a lack of opportunities, it's a lack of identity. They live according to mood, fatigue, circumstances, motivated today, empty tomorrow. Confident one day, doubtful the next. And years pass like this. Because when you don't choose who you are, the world will choose for you. And trust me, it won't choose in your favor. Strong people move differently. They don't ask, how do I feel? They ask, who have I decided to be? And from that decision, everything else flows. Words, movements, reactions, actions. Feelings come later. They always do. Stand up in the morning and ask yourself an honest question. Who must I be today in order to become the person I want to be for life? Calm or reactive? Courageous or convenient? Focused or scattered? This isn't philosophy. It's a choice you confirm with every action throughout the day. Face the truth. You already know who you need to be. Sometimes you're just afraid to take on that role. Because then there's nowhere to hide, no excuses. No, that's just how I am. You'll have to become different. And that's frightening. But that's exactly where growth begins. When you choose your identity in the morning, the world starts responding differently. Not because you got louder, but because you became steadier. People sense those who are grounded in themselves, who don't drift, who don't ask for permission to be who they are. Confidence isn't in words, it's in tone, in pauses, in how you enter the day. You stop reacting to every little thing, you stop proving yourself, you stop chasing. You know who you are, and a person who knows who they are doesn't need constant validation. And remember this, you don't have to be perfect. You have to be faithful to your choice. Even if today you did a little less, even if you slipped somewhere, return to the decision, not to emotions, not to the past, but to who you decided to be. This is how character is formed, not in one day, but through repetition, day after day, morning after morning. You don't chase greatness, you step into it, one step at a time. And one day you'll look back and realize you're no longer trying to become strong. You simply are. So tomorrow morning, don't rush. Don't give yourself away to the first noise. Sit down, breathe, remind yourself who you are. Choose your direction, choose your tone, choose your level, and step into the day already a different person. The world always adjusts to those who put order inside first. Not because it's fair, but because it senses strength. And when you start behaving like someone who takes responsibility, life begins to treat you accordingly. You're not late, you're not broken, you're not lost. You've just gone too long without stepping into the role of leader in your own life. Fix that. Not tomorrow, not someday, starting with the very next morning, because that's where everything is decided.